What you gonna do about it? You can't stand it 'cause you gave up control of it. Every time you talk about it, it's so clear what you could do to improve it. Instead you choose to complain, and that's where it starts and where it stays. It's the same thing day after day, just presented in a different way. I'm walking away from it. I'm pushing it aside till I'm cleared of it. I held up a mirror to it, but it just kept shattering in my face when you broke it. 'Cause you can't stand to take ownership in your own hands. You're the victim of your circumstance, not the boss, always wearing the pants. You're running out of excuses, can't think of a new way to live. When in doubt, you can numb out with substances. Don't gotta feel a thing when you live in a dream. Wherever you go, there you are. 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 The farther I get from it, the better, 'cause I have a hard time with it. You can't change my mind about it. It's so easy to judge me from under the blankets of your comfort. Consider yourself the expert. Watch where you point your finger. I suggest you point it inward. I'm running out of ideas. Not that you are open to change. It's never your fault or your weakness. You're trying to escape, but guess who always stays? Wherever you go, there you are. Wherever you go, there you are. Wherever you go, there you are. Wherever you go, there you are.
Hey, everybody. Welcome to Big Blend Radio. Very excited. Today we have Leslie Hunt, a lead singer from the prog ensemble District 97 out of Chicago, but she's also a solo artist. And you just heard There You Are. It's from her brand new EP, Ascend. It is out today, and this is airing June 25th, which is the date. And we're so excited to have her here. And I encourage you to go to her website, lesliehuntmusic.com. That's Leslie, Leslie. Some of you may have seen her on American Idol as well. But hey,
Cool.
that was kind of a few years ago. So a lot's been going on. So we get to hear all about it and catch up with her. And you're between two palms, so we like this. Welcome, Leslie.
Thank you so much. Thanks for having me.
Hey, it is great. This EP is awesome. This is airing on your release date, which is excellent. It's
that's
not
really
really
cool.
June 25th right now, but it will be soon. Are you
I was
excited?
like, it's not out today.
Yeah, this is
Yeah.
your fourth solo release, right?
It is, yeah. And then to have a fifth one so close behind is really
Yeah.
exciting because I have another 7-song EP coming out September 3rd. So
Wow.
it just feels like a very exciting just putting out a lot of stuff in a pretty short span. It feels like good momentum that I know I won't be able to maintain, but
No, she's on a roll.
I'll try to be on some sort of roll,
Yeah,
Yeah.
she's on a
Yeah.
roll. That's good. That's
Am I?
good.
Yeah, you do your own.
Yeah.
I know you teach music, and then you have your
Mhm.
solo career, and then you've got the band, District 97. I know Jonathan was on our show on Halloween
Mhm.
last year with Ghost Girl, and well, it's what I like about District 97, then your album too, this latest EP, Ascend. You really, everything seems to be going towards the positive in life.
Mhm. Yeah,
Good.
I like that that's what you gleaned too, because that is definitely where I was coming from. I was, I had a whole big starting over, obviously, phase from the first track. And then I was very much committed to looking at it as an opportunity for growth. And I had been devouring all of this, kind of meditation principles. And I was just, everything was kind of opening up for me. And I felt like I was no longer in a position to complain about things.
Oh, wow. Can we
Dang.
spread that
Yeah,
around?
listen. Well, that's
That'd
really
be great.
cool. Well, I think we all go through those cycles in life, and I think even the pandemic shifted for everyone a little bit. Everybody had more reflection time. Did that happen
Mhm.
for you with the pandemic?
It absolutely did, because I had one EP already, mostly done. And then I was just kind of working on finishing it. But then with the cleared schedule and all the canceled gigs and everything,
Oh.
just, I'm home and I don't have other melodies to learn for other reasons or other rehearsals or other commitments. And, really all I did was I ramped up teaching. But then when I wasn't teaching, I was home in bed at a very early hour. And I had all of this space for melodies when they would come to me, because I strongly believe that the muse does not visit me unless I am a little more quiet up there. So if I'm very, very busy, or if I'm, just overloaded with music to other people's benefit, like my full-time gig is events. So I lead
Oh my gosh.
an 8-piece band, and we do at least 50 events a year.
Oh, wow.
And it's a full time. I mean, it's full time.
Wow.
So of course that was all totally canned. And yeah. So anyway,
And that's a full band. I mean, an 8-piece is pretty
That's
intense.
Mhm. And I love it. I love it. Don't get me wrong, but I do find that when we're in our busy season, which is literally right now, and I'm putting out 2 EPs this summer, I feel a little bit like, wow, everything that I got in motion when I had an empty schedule is now happening along with normal life, which is very intense. But I'm just so happy that I got things in motion when I had that space, because a lot of my friends actually kind of took a break from music. They were just kind of like, oh, this is, I want to do something else. I'm going to like go work on a farm or something.
Oh, funny.
If there's goats, I'll go with them.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah, same.
Actually, working on a
fan.
farm sounds fun.
Yeah, same. I know we just talked about plants, and I still don't know
Yeah.
a ton about them. I feel like the only reason that I'm able to keep them alive is because I have a lot of sun. Take very little
Yeah.
responsibility for the
Yeah.
health of my houseplants.
Well, that's awesome.
I don't
You
know.
gotta,
Are you guys thirsty? I don't know. That's all I really got. So
oh, well, you're talking to them, right? So if you're
Yes.
talking to them, are you singing to
hear-
them? Do you
they
sing to them?
hear so much music.
There you
That's
go.
probably
That's
another
why.
reason why they're happy. Yeah, they hear
That's
so much
why.
music. A lot of dog barks and a lot of kids yelling and a lot of music.
Well, that's all happy stuff. See, but
It
that
is
makes
happy
plants
stuff.
happy when they know they're cared about. You
Yeah.
read The Secret Life of Plants. I know you're into meditation, right? So the
Yes.
Secret Life
Oh,
of
it's
Plants
such
was
a good
like
book.
it was like, oh, the hippie land of books of plants.
That's so
Um,
good.
I gotta read
This is
that.
back in the 70s. They did an experiment.
Yeah.
And we're all connected to plants. A percentage of our DNA is connected to trees. And so anyway, these plants, they tore leaves off of plant, like 3 leaves. So it was like a little
So
stem with the 3 leaves, or 4, how many leaves it was. And so they broke 2 parts off of this plant. And one of the scientists had in his bedside, and the other one was just left in another room and ignored. The one by his bedside, he talked to and meditated on every morning and every evening. That plant lived without anything. So what does that
Wow.
tell? I mean, that's pretty trippy.
Wow, that is wild.
So
Love
that's,
that.
see, that's why your plants are happy.
Oh my
Yes.
gosh.
So it's a cool
That's
thing.
so
They like
cool.
activity
Mhm.
and water. Every
Yeah,
once in a while, they
I've
want the
noticed that
water.
I did put some plants in my kids' rooms, but they don't, there's not a lot going on in there. They're not as happy in there. Maybe they need to come back out.
They need
They want
calm.
to join the chorus.
Yeah,
Yeah.
they need to
want
be
to
a
be
part
with
of
their
that.
buddies, get some water.
But
get
like, are some of them
sunlight.
introverted?
Yes.
Yes.
Yes. They have personalities.
Yeah.
Some will be all like,
Yeah.
hey, you
How,
know,
how can you find out?
I don't know. You just need
You
to
can
talk to
ask
them.
them.
I know. This
You
is
say, are you an introvert? And the
Oh my
plant will just
God.
Do you
This
need to
is-
recharge your batteries in a room alone for a
Okay.
couple days?
none of them want to be alone.
This is
Wow,
becoming
okay,
more
so
and
that
more
answers
like
my
between
question.
two palms.
I know.
Which
Yeah.
now Nancy
No.
told you before we started recording that they are actual grasses, like
I know.
dates, medjool
Mhm.
dates.
Yeah.
We started getting into this with medjool dates. We're on a farm. Here we are. We're back to a farm in Yuma,
Uh-oh.
Arizona. They grow medjool dates. They were one of the first places to do
Mm.
it. That in Indio in California, and we're out there, and they're like, "These are not trees. These are grasses."
They're grass.
That's
I
wild.
think of it as dinosaur grass because
Yeah.
I mean, yeah. So when there was dinosaurs around, they were stomping on palm
True.
because that would be their grass, and then they ate the dates and they were really happy.
All right.
Alrighty then.
They were legal.
dig
It was legal grass. But with your songwriting,
Oh,
are these stories that come to you? Are they things that you're going through, thinking about? You're talking about you're going through change. Does
Mhm.
nature inspire you?
Hmm.
I mean, how much nature
Yes.
do you have in Chicago? We haven't been there yet.
Well, I'm not in Chicago. I'm about an hour west.
Okay.
I'm in like a beautiful like river town that I grew up in. My entire family's out here,
Nice.
and they're big,
Nice.
and we're all very close. We see each other a lot. My parents are very very involved in like my life, my kids' lives, and but I lived in Chicago itself for 14 years. But I am outside so much because I love walking my dogs. I have so many music ideas that come to me when I'm out walking.
Mm.
I love all the green out here. I think when I first came out here, I felt very understimulated. After being in Chicago for 14 years, I was like, oh my God, it's so quiet and everybody's, but then now I've gotten a lot of energy from all the green and the lush I live in on a day-to-day basis. And yeah, so but all my songs are inspired by things I go through for the most part. Yeah, I don't write a lot from other people's perspectives usually.
How do you feel like when you're doing like American Idol stuff? And I know that was 2006, 2007?
7, yeah. So it was
Yeah.
season 6, 2007. Yeah.
So what was it like covering other people's music? Do you enjoy doing that? I know even doing other bands. Do you like doing covers?
Well, I do actually. I've learned a lot about my voice by learning other people's songs because they're picking notes in an order and in a range that I wouldn't otherwise pick maybe. And so it's been really good for my singing and my performing because I have a theater background. And so I do like
cool.
to kind of adopt the vibe of a very wide variety of styles and energies. And I love, all the range that I get to cover as a singer, both with my stuff and District 97, and then like all the events that I do. So, I mean, my job really is to like listen to the radio and be like, there's a hit that like we need to be doing this summer, and like it kind of keeps me current. My kids think I'm kind of cool.
Your voice is really interesting though, because you can go, here's a prog rock style, but then you can just simmer down. Like I know we're going to play for those watching here on YouTube the video version of this podcast, you'll see the an acoustic performance out of your living room. Where were the plants? No,
there lots of plants.
I know, back to that again, but
That's
you
funny.
just stripping it down, you've got one of those voices you just want to sit and listen, and so you can do anything with your voice. I mean,
thank you.
Yeah.
so to do your solo, is that kind of do you have to kind of strip away District 97, you guys are cool with what you're doing there, but you have to kind of like go, okay, I'm not that. This is a different person. This is me now. Like,
Yeah,
it's all about
absolutely.
me.
Yeah, I know. And and that's the funny thing is that's like, I know I'm in a position of like kind of owning my power when I lean into myself as a solo artist. And when I would rather kind of be one of five and kind of hide behind those numbers. And when we're performing songs, the audience doesn't necessarily know who wrote what. And so it's not just like, hey guys, here's my diary and I'm butt naked. It's just like, it's so exposing. It's just so exposing to just like be like Leslie Hunt. And then just like, here's just, I literally obviously wrote everything, and then like, it's a bit, it can be a bit much, but I love the ability to express a very wide variety of emotions and sentiments on the stage, sonically and lyrically.
I think it helps people connect because everyone goes through things and people can identify. You can listen to a song and you're going to have something. I'll identify it in a way that you may have written this from this, something that, part of your life. But for me, I'm going to go somewhere else with it. You know what I mean? A situation that's similar. Part. Yeah, I think that's what's cool. It's really hard. Like, we've done so many interviews with musicians and songwriters and we get into, well, this, means this feels that, but it's really, here's a song. Everybody's got it's different than reading a book. That's the story, but or watching a movie.
People are going to take it differently according to their own personal background. So it's going to mean a lot more to a lot of different people than one might think. It's not, people only like this. They're going to, when you watch a movie, 100 people can be watching it and walk away with 100 different ideas about that movie. And the same listening to a song. Lisa and I spend a lot of time in the car listening to music, and we'll play something and she'll have an idea about the song and I'll have a totally different idea.
Yeah, I love that because that's when I know I've done a good job. If the wider variety of feedback I get about a song, like, did you write this about this? Well, it sounded like you wrote it about this. That means that I used language in an inclusive enough way that also felt expressive to me, not necessarily selling myself short, but also as a performer.
Puppies.
I know, here they are.
Hi, babies.
I know. See, the puppy's kind of wanting me to play, so he's like, Hurrah! He's like, he's not going to let me grab him. He's just going to be like really crazy. But as a performer, if I get too specific and I write something from a very kind of narrow, one-dimensional place, it gets to be kind of a drag to perform. It gets to be kind of, just, I don't know. I like to leave things poetically, metaphorically kind of vast, but while also really, getting my point across. That's one of my favorite tools, songwriting tools. Yeah.
I like that.
Like it ages well.
Do you write on your phone or like, are you writing, is it melodies? Like you were talking about melodies earlier. Are you getting like the words? Does it just happen the way it happens?
Sometimes I get words and melodies at the same time. Sometimes just the melody, but I will just record it as a voice memo. Definitely got easier to write songs when voice memos came out on phones.
Yeah.
So it was a great thing. Otherwise I have just a ton of little tiny tapes and like a tape recorder. Yeah. From before like smartphones existed.
Oh my God. I remember those.
I'm 39. Yeah. So I got a smartphone.
And you know what a VHS is, and so do I.
Sure do. Yeah. Many a rewind. I'm just like, you didn't rewind it.
Yeah, that's right. Remember, Blockbuster. You get a fine for no rewind. Oh my God. I remember that. It's like, wow. I mean, hey, Netflix used to send CD or DVDs, but but going back those tapes that's how we originally started our radio show, was doing road trip radio. We made, I don't even think we've ever told anybody this on the show, but he made a tape once And we asked, we went recording across the country on this road trip, and we went into bars and we went into gas stations, liquor stores, restaurants, and asked people one question and recorded it everywhere we went. And I sent it to a friend. I sent it to a friend because and he started listening, and it included me almost getting a ticket and getting pulled
Yes.
over. And so it was this
I have
crazy
a- I have
tape.
a recording of her talking her way out of a ticket.
Totally.
That was the best thing ever. It was so much fun.
I mean, we had a
Wow.
ball with this, and I sent it to a friend who was a huge Howard Stern fan. He's like, dude, this is the funniest, because it was funny. Because
It really is
we
funny.
went around and asked everybody loves wood. Why do you love wood? And it's really about wood. And nobody got filthy until the very last guy. It
Yeah.
was this big,
Whoa.
thick Australian accent. And, I won't repeat what he said, but it was really funny.
It was
But
really
it was,
funny,
we
but-
found out about how the Billy Goat Saloon was built out of these specific trees out in Pagosa Springs,
Yeah, it's true.
Colorado. I mean, it was crazy. We interviewed musicians about their guitars. It was crazy. This whole one thing brought up all of this stuff. And then when we started getting into we were magazine people, then it was like, why read our stuff when you can actually hear what people have to say? It's pretty
Oh
cool.
my God. That's a
That
cool
was all done
origin
on tapes.
story.
That was all
Oh my
tape.
gosh.
Those tapes, I
Yeah.
remember.
Mhm.
And so
The
that's how
little
you
teeny
were
ones.
writing. Yeah. It's like those little
Mhm.
answering machine ones.
Yeah. Yeah.
Mhm.
Oh my
And
God.
I have so many, that reminds me, I should probably find them.
Because you
and,
can
like,
digitize them.
Get some, I gotta do that. But what's on there? Like I just
Yeah,
feel like I
but
was probably
You might
like
find things
venting and-
you've forgotten that you
Right.
might like, oh, that's perfect for this song over here.
Yeah, that's a good
Yeah.
idea. I love that.
Huh.
Yeah.
So now you do the phone, right? And so
Yes.
are you writing
So-
on piano, guitar? Because I saw you playing guitar. What?
I do play it. So I would say that in the instance where a melody comes, it feels very urgent, and it feels like I have to sit down with my most efficient writing tool, which is the piano. If I'm just messing around on guitar and something happens, sometimes songs emerge from that, and then melodies come from that. But if a melody's floating in the air, I need to go to the piano right away. And then if I discover that it's a key, that the melody's in a key that I can play pretty well on guitar, I'm not super good at guitar. I'm the capo queen, like there's like some shapes I can play, and I'm like, I'm going to play them a lot. So I'm not really like a shredding guitar player. So I have to sit down at the piano and kind of flush it out and get a good vibe. And then I figure out where it needs to be played. But sometimes it's actually just kind of fun to just not play any instruments and just rock.
Do you ever read something or see something that makes you say, oh man, I have to write about that?
Yes, a lot. Yeah, that happens a lot. So yeah, I would say that I was very inspired by the Black Lives Matter protests and the George Floyd protests. I wrote a couple songs, one very off of Descend. It's like probably the funkiest song I've ever written in my life, but it's very like kind of examining how I just was figuring like an entire community of people just not really trusting the police.
Yeah.
And I was just thinking about what that would feel like, just like, God, who am I going to call? Like when I need somebody, like I can't call them. I don't trust them. So I just was thinking about like what happens in the community. And anyway, I'm excited about that song. And then I also just watching how people were behaving, just like watching each other, not knowing how much we're allowed to interact. At first just kind of walking around my neighborhood and we're like, oh my God, how far away do we have to stay? Just, I don't know. So is that kind of answer your question? Like,
yeah.
Okay, you go through something, you're like, I need to write about this right away. Cause this is a banana situation.
Who would ever think that you would be told you can't go into a bank without a mask on?
I know.
Yeah.
It
that.
blew my mind.
Isn't that weird?
Mm-hmm. And I love the fact that we were all going through, of course we're all have different life experiences in many ways, but but we were all scared of this virus, everyone.
Yeah.
And I thought that was
everybody.
pretty cool to be unified by that.
Yeah.
Horrible to be unified by that, but I was just like, wow, we're unified. Look at us.
Yeah, we're unified, but I wish we'd have more of that now, because I feel like, I hope we take these lessons we learned
Mm-hmm.
and have them now, and I think that music does that, because it reminds us of times. Music does. I mean, look at Bob Dylan. He tells the truth about what was going on.
Yeah.
It's like, here comes the hurricane. It's like you if musicians and artists and writers have been the truth tellers of what has been happening in the world and in their locality, or they tell the truth. And I think
Definitely.
music does that. I mean, that's what's so powerful about it. It's like, you could be going through something and it can just hit you right there and understand it. Whereas maybe your friends and family will, it's it's like having dogs. You can tell dogs something and they're not going to judge you.
Right.
They're just, they're going to be nice to you and they'll be fine. But music, it's like this understanding without any judgment, but it just, you feel it, man. It's good. It's good stuff.
It's good stuff. I like that you call it truth telling, because that's definitely why I wanted to write songs about. It's funny because the world is opening up again, and I don't know if by the time Descend comes out, people are gonna be like, it's too soon to hear about this, or like relive this. But I just thought that we could all I learned so much, and I wanted to put those lessons in music to live forever, that I could listen to if I needed a refresher course on how that felt. And then, because we can all get jaded pretty quickly. Right now we're grateful.
Oh yeah.
Let's stay grateful. Let's somehow stay grateful, because this almost, we were almost done for.
And a lot of people died.
Stayed alive. Yeah, if we stayed alive, we're the lucky ones. So don't complain, because we didn't perish in that pandemic. So good job.
Yeah. So, okay. So let's talk about, because you've got Ascend now today, which is, well, not right now today, but the 25th when this airs is out, right? And so then the second one, Descend, that's going to be the fall, right? In September?
September 3rd. Mm-hmm.
Okay, September 3rd, everyone. That's cool. So how do you pick your dates for releasing music?
I don't. The label picked them.
See, they always do it. So it's like, okay, this is a good time. People's tax money is back. No, it's like this.
It probably has to do with their other releases and what they can, just making sure their schedule can handle all the revving up that happens. And it's, it gets to like a fever pitch, and then it's out and everybody's just like, cool, like
get it.
Let's just, get it. And then, get the album. And then it's, we can start working on the next thing.
So with the albums now, like and things opening up, you've got District 97 and gigs probably starting up with them, right? And then are you going out and doing solo gigs, or how does that work with your solo projects? That's
my big to do right now, is putting together the band. I think I have it more or less assembled. It's interesting though, because a life of a musician right now, a lot of people kind of reevaluated some things, and they stopped doing less gigs, or they, or they stopped doing so many gigs, or they moved somewhere else, or, tons of my friends left Chicago. So it's sort of like, okay, so, the dust is kind of settled. I can like ask around, when people think they might have some availability to do some original gigs with me. So I'm putting that together still. I'm hoping for like a late July or something like that, where we're going to kind of play a bunch of shows and hopefully get some recordings of them, and, just focus on the live representation of all this music that's coming out that I'd like to play for people live. But it's just hard to put that together when I can barely, I can barely exist. I'm so busy. I'm like,
Well, and I think at least the music is going to be out there for people to listen to. And hey, you've got your living room between the Palms performances. I swear, I love that.
I want to change all the captions now, or like all the YouTube information. Be like between two Palms home acoustic sessions. Thanks, guys.
I mean that's the thing. I mean,
I'll credit you guys.
I love it when everybody was streaming music, because as audience, we're like, dudes, this sucks. I mean, traveling the country, and there's you'd be going through places where everything's closed up. You're like, this is some freaky stuff.
It's like
spooky.
Towns.
But it was
Mhm.
also good for nature to have a comeback. Nature got to breathe a
Mm.
little bit with us
It's true.
inside.
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
true. That made me think too. I was just like, we can't really go back to the way things were.
Yeah.
All the traffic. It's like, why are we going back to an office? Is it worth it? I don't think it
Yeah.
is.
Well, now people are discovering they would rather work at home. And
Yeah, 'cause I mean-
companies who used to insist that you had to be in the office are looking at, well, now with the internet and computers, we really don't need the big block office buildings. Think of how
Right.
much rent they're paying and all that,
Yeah.
Thinking maybe this is a better thing. And so all those buildings can be used for something more productive in a
Mhm.
way. People who
Just
are
more.
homeless, hospitals,
Oh, I love
things that
that.
things that we actually need rather than office buildings.
Yeah.
And people can be home with their families.
Unpaved paradise and remove the parking lot.
Nice.
Well, just
Isn't it like a? I'm sorry.
it's just like there would be less people on the road,
Mhm.
less pollution. Might be really a good thing.
I hope that we're able to make a big change like that.
Yeah.
I really do.
Hmm.
That would be ideal.
Mhm.
I already know that people are doing a lot more online shopping,
Mhm.
so just, all those stores and all just the extra stuff they have and all that, feel bad
Yeah.
about the jobs, but it's our duty as a species to evolve and get the right, like, get jobs that age well,
Yeah.
Mhm.
like
Mhm.
people that are griping about, oh, no one uses coal anymore. It's like, that's good. Like, that's good. We should
Yeah.
not
It
be,
is good.
we should not be using coal. I'm sorry, get a new job,
We need
Yeah.
to transform. And I think that
Yeah.
if we get stuck in a position and that's something that, these things happen to kind of force us out of it because we
Mhm.
get too settled as a species. We do. It's
I
Yeah.
know.
we get too settled and this is how it's always been and this is how it always will be. No, how boring. And that's the role of the arts. Because the arts make you feel something so that you just don't keep sitting there and watching the same news channel with your 6-pack of beer.
Well,
I'll
it
take
could
the beer
be-
from you, but you
it
know what I
could
mean?
It could be that governments would step up and help the people who need to readjust and find different jobs and be educated in a different field that is more futuristic.
Yeah.
What things, when we know something has to close down, then you don't just abandon the people.
That's a really good point. I love that idea
Yeah.
of just like,
Yeah.
like,
Don't,
like the government or, whoever's running the show, they kind of oversee, well, how should we be spending our workforce? How should we be putting people to work? What's the most, and like, it is like fiscally so smart to put resources into like sustainable jobs that are going to actually improve matters. Yeah, but just so many people don't realize how serious it's getting and how serious it will get in our lifetime. I mean, definitely in my kids' lifetimes. I'm just like, sorry guys, like, you guys might be like really thirsty one day, like, I'm worried about the fresh water, and like, and so I don't know.
Yeah,
But
we've
I
been
mean,
driving through droughts in the Southwest, California,
Oh,
Arizona, New
man.
Mexico, Texas. And it's real. We've been to wildlife refuges that are known for waterfowl and shorebirds and all, and we were there at the perfect season and there's no water, like zero, and there's dust clouds just twirling like this. And we did one after the other. It got to this point of like depression for us, like seeing this and it's dead. And the deserts, like right now in Joshua Tree, we were just in Joshua Tree, the park is closing one of the hikes, the 49 Palms Oasis, because it's the one part of water for the bighorn sheep. So we can't walk there, which is great that we are taking some of those steps to protect the species, but like that park gets overrun. It's a beautiful park. Joshua Tree is like magic, man. It's really
Mhm.
magic. But all these I mean, we're solving the world's problems. I didn't know we were going to do that today.
Yeah.
But I
love
mean,
it.
speaking about all these issues, right?
I know, I'm like, you guys keep wanting to talk about my music, but I'm like, what about the earth?
Yeah,
You
no,
know, and
do
it's
it,
like,
do it. We
okay.
can do that. Now, would you, and have you, I mean, so I don't know, have you performed to back anybody running for office, or would you? And, or have you done it for
Would.
any of the causes? Like, have you done any of that yet?
I did sing. I love to sing at, walks, like women's marches. And then like, we have a great young governor here, or Congresswoman. Oh man, she's so awesome. And we also, I was a part of the Lupus Foundation for a long time.
Oh,
Awesome.
And would sing a lot for their galas and do their walks. I have lupus, but I've been a pretty healthy adult overall. Comparatively. I mean, my friends would be like, "You're not really that healthy," but I compared to my childhood, I'm like amazing. So yeah, I got
lupus,
real.
yeah, that's a big deal for people to know about.
Yeah.
That's one of those hidden, untalked about. Yeah,
It is.
Yeah.
It's very hidden, and I was diagnosed when I was in like 6.5 or something like that, and so I don't really remember much of my life before having it. So it's not like I got it in my 30s and was all of a sudden very sick. That's normally what happens. Normally, you get it a little bit later in life, and usually it happens to women. So I don't know, but yeah. I think that I've been handed a decent amount of weights to carry, and I let's talk like a swimming metaphor. Like I got really good at swimming like against the current, and so I just feel strong and resilient, and so I feel in a position because of all of the kind of like near-death experiences I've had and just struggling with my health my whole life, and like just I feel like I was given like some insight when things get hard to kind of how to kind of like spin it in a way that's helpful.
It's interesting that your two EPs, one is ascend and the other one's descend. So does that, it's like you're going to go up, go down. Now we're going to be balanced. One is like the yin yang,
That's okay. I like that. I named it Ascend Descend because Ascend was recorded when, pre-pandemic, and I had all these plans and I was like, here we go. Woo! And I was just like, gonna go bananas. And then I was kind of like, oh wait, no, we've got to like change gears completely. We're coming down. We don't know how long we're gonna land. We don't know how long this layover is. Let's just get cozy. I wrote a whole song about just kind of like being on an airplane. Like I like go crazy when I look down, but I'm just like, there's no end to this flight. We might as well just like get a blanket and start like watching some Netflix, like
Yeah,
that's true.
so ascend, descend, but I don't know. I need to have a follow-up that's like, don't worry, I didn't really stay on the ground that long. Let's go back up.
no, we're going to purgatory, ladies and gentlemen.
Yeah, ascend, descend, and neither.
Well, that's that middle. Oh, that's limbo. Then,
Hover.
right? Sorry, limbo. What is the middle thing? That zone. We're just gonna hover. Right. Yeah, we can do that. No, that's good. That's good. Well, exciting for September coming around. That's not far.
Yes.
And Ascend is out now. So LeslieHuntMusic.com. That's the best place for all your social media and everything.
Yes. Yep, that's it.
It's LESLIE, just because I want to, prove to people that I can spell.
She sure can. I can vouch. She just did
it.
Yep.
There it is. There it is. And so what we're going to do now is, for those watching on YouTube, we're going to play the video from Leslie's home recording in her living room studio, Wolf Cried Boy. And for those listening on the audio podcast, you'll hear the actual recording from the EP. Do you want to give everyone just a little insight to the song, or do you want us to just play it?
Sure. Wolf Cried Boy is the boy who cried wolf, parable or whatever it is. It's called a fable. It's a fable, flipped. So kind of, I guess I'm a woman who's been in a lot of relationships and I haven't had a whole lot of time single. And so I was in a relationship that I was really excited about. And I found that everyone around me was a little bit like, yeah. Like we've heard that before. So it's like, I'm like the wolf who cried boy, like, no guys, really, this is it this time. And it was just sort of like kind of beating people to the gossipy punch and then singing about it.
Mhm.
Right on. So everybody take a listen, enjoy,
Cool.
go get the EP and the follow-up one. So Ascend and Descend. And then we're gonna wait for the third one. So that
Nice. Yeah,
maybe that'll
exactly.
come out. Yeah. That's it.
Hoverboard.
There it is. I like that. I like that. Well, thanks for joining us, everyone. Don't
Yes.
forget, keep up with us at bigblendradio.com. Our shows air Sunday through Friday at 4 p.m. Pacific time, 6 p.m. for those in Chicago, CT, or 7 p.m. Eastern time. Thanks, everyone, for joining us, and take care, Leslie.
Thank you so much for having me. I had so much fun with you both.
Well,
Let's
you
do it again.
The wolf cried, boy, again, howling for all again. So hard to believe her, 'cause every time you see her, she's wearing another skin around. Just think of the children dragged through it all again. Well, as the observer, you got all the answers and you're spreading your word around, making it hard for her to calm down, share what she's found, and look you in the eyes when they're rolling. Go on and roll your eyes, no one's cried, boy, more than she has. Pretty hard to be the only one alone. It's been a long time coming, but he has arrived. The wolf cried, boy, for the last time. You should see them